welcome to another tutorial. So as Game of Thrones is coming out, I decided that I would come up with this White Walker tutorial. I admit it's not my best work yet, but it's a bit of fun. It's a simple tutorial if you're going to like a Game of Thrones party or something. It's not as complicated as some of the prosthetic tutorials or more detailed than this. And honestly, I actually don't know what these were. I saw some kind of bone structure on the picture, on my picture reference, but I started and then didn't continue with them, so feel free to skip this step. Apart from that, I hope you guys enjoy, and if you are a big Game of Thrones fan, winter's gonna be ending, but enjoy! Bye! To start things off, I'm just covering the entirety of my face in white paint by Graftobian. And then covering my eyebrows with a glue stick. This is just going to push down the texture of those eyebrows and make them a little bit easier to paint over the top of. Don't worry about being too precious about the base either, because you're going to be covering most of it up with your eyeshadow with the detailing of the White Walker. Okay, so first thing first, I'm taking my grey eyeshadow by Geek. I will list the colour down below, and I am starting to sketch out the bone structure of the White Walker. For the White Walker's detailing and bone structure, I am following a picture reference roughly. I will link the picture reference up above. It was a simpler picture reference. It isn't from the show. I believe it's another tutorial, but I thought some of the bone structure and detailing was a little bit easier to follow, and I drew inspiration from this. I'm now starting to detail the wrinkles and the detail of the skin and making a rough outline of this using that grey eyeshadow. So this is the part which I said you guys could ignore. I am looking at a bone structure on my picture reference, but if it is confusing, please do skip it. The camera obviously didn't want me to record it either because it cut out during that moment and went quite blurry, but it's totally up to you guys. Okay, so moving on with that skin detailing, I am just putting some of the detailing of more of the wrinkling and the scrunched up pinched skin look. What I'm actually doing to help me is a bit of a cheat sheet, is I was scrunching up my face in some parts just to see where some of my natural wrinkles would sit. This was a lot of trial and error as I went through it, so wouldn't think too much about it when you go along. I wasn't loving it at this point. I had no idea where it was going to take me, but I would just trust it as you go along. And then I am just repeating the same steps that I did on the left side of the face on the other side. Then I'm adding some additional detailing under the eyes to really drop them down and make them appear more sunken in, and adding some additional shading to give more depth to the face. As I go along, wherever I feel necessary, I am smudging it out with my finger to have a little bit of a softer and less drawn on effect. Now working along the cheekbones, I'm carving out where the hollowing of the face should be, similar to the structure of a skull. I'm now starting to deepen some of those crevices and those areas where I think they could have more depth to look more sunken in and more creased, using that same grey-brown eyeshadow. Now going under the eyes with some black eyeshadow, I am detailing the under eye to appear as if there's less surface area, and that will naturally drop the eye shape down and make them look less open. I'm now just patting that same black eyeshadow onto the base of the lid. This is going to help make my eyes appear smaller and more sunken in, helping with the effect of the aging around the eyes. I'm now just deepening up some of those areas of the face where we added additional detailing earlier with that black eyeshadow. Now adding a black kohl liner to the inner part of the lips to make my lips look thinner. This one I am using is by Marc, and then going over the top of that with that grey eyeshadow once again, being sure to keep it on the inner part of the lips and not go beyond that. Now deepening the hollows of the cheeks using a contour brush with the grey eyeshadow, and going around the base of the face and along the jawline. I then went on the top of the cheekbones with a white eyeshadow. This is Gesso by Mac, as I felt that that was going to make the cheekbones appear more prominent and more structured. Then going in again with that black eyeshadow, detailing some of the areas that I wanted to deepen up around the face. Now moving on to the body, I am just covering my chest and shoulders and the tops of my arms with that same white face paint by Graftobian. Once I'm happy with the base of the colour, I start detailing the hollows of the neck. To do this, I was almost picturing a fish hook. I wasn't bringing it up the whole way,
And to do this, I was using that same grey eyeshadow that has a bit of a brown undertone to detail out where I want the hollows to go. Once happy with this, I started to fill it in with that same grey eyeshadow, being sure to keep the colour towards the base of the hollow and then smudging it out with my finger. Then going in between the hollows with that white face paint just to make the hollows appear separate and more stark. I'm then contouring out my collarbones and the tops of my shoulders just to appear more gaunt. Now going in with the black eyeshadow at the very base of the neck hollows just to make them appear more sunken in and have more depth. Then drawing black lines over the top and down from the neck hollows with that same black eyeshadow, and this is going to give that more wrinkled effect. I also felt that if I added the grey shadow between the brow and the base of the lid and just packed that all over, it would make them feel like they were more sunken in. So I decided to go ahead and do that. And then adding the finishing touches to the contouring wherever I felt that it could do with a little bit more depth and a little bit more detailing. Then going on top of the cheekbones with a white liner, this one is by Sigma. And then finally I am going underneath the cheekbones again, now with a purple eyeshadow, just to give it a bit more depth, and it also, I felt, gave it a little bit more of that death look, that little bit almost bluish tone to the skin. And finally going over the tops of my hair with the Graftobian white paint. I didn't take it the whole way down my hair because I had nowhere to go this evening other than take it off. I hope you guys enjoyed today's White Walker tutorial, and I hope it gives you some ideas if you're going to a premiere party or something like that. If you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.